Let's do this again. Hello everyone, it is Petra. Welcome to my channel, welcome back to my channel. And as you can tell by the title, I thought I would do another story time, but this story time will be giving you guys a better knowledge of me, just a little more information put out there, because I think this is all the topics that I never talked about on my channel before. So I thought that I would share on how and why I moved overseas, because you're probably wondering how am I going from New York to Belgium and then going to these different countries, like going to France, Italy, and all these things. So I thought I would just do a setup video and just kind of explaining before, when I was living in New York, and how I moved to Belgium and all these things. And you're probably wondering why and how. So let's get this story started. Okay, yeah. So a little family history. My mother is Belgium and my dad's American. So yes, at the moment I do have dual citizenship. But anywho, so my mom just came here when she was young to do some work. The family that she was staying, one of the sons were really close to my father, and that's how kind of like they met. Got like all the whole getting married, blah 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 blah, and that. Moving on, having 2 kids and everything. My parents got divorced. My mom moved back to Belgium, and of course my dad stayed here because he has family here. He's American. There's no point of him going to Belgium. Why would he go to Belgium? Compared to where my mom just went back to her own country to be with her family and all that. My mother wanted me to go to Belgium. I did not. I decided to stay with my father. And I stayed with my father for 5 years. At the time that my mom left, I was 12 years old. And at that time, I think it would have been just best at that time to go with my mom. But I didn't, because I was 12 years old. I was mad that my parents were getting divorced, and all that. Of course, who in the tribe would not be mad. So I stayed with my father, and that kind of like went downhill, because just in general, like, my dad was hurt. There was just a lot of issues with my dad's family surrounded with my mother. So whatever issue they had with her when she left, it became my problem in a way. So they were just more laugh, blaming me, how in a way on my parents getting divorced and everything. That's how kind of like it came out across to me. So like they will always say you're so obese and everything, where in reality at that time I was like a normal weight for a 12-year-old. Even if I did had extra fat on me, it would have been just extra, like a few pounds. Nothing to the point where you should be worried for a 12-year-old, but they always body shamed me and everything. I could never shop where normal teenagers would, like young teenagers and everything. So I always was forced to shop in the clothing area for older women. So of course the clothes were too big on me. It didn't fit well. I did not enjoy it, so I never really had clothes that I felt confident in myself. So I already had family behind my ear not making me confident, because my mom just moved. And it's not like she went and moved away that was an hour away. We were talking about like miles and miles away. I stayed in New York, she went to Belgium. So it was just a lot of issues for like the 5 years were like that. And I don't want to like self-diagnose myself, because I never went to see a doctor or anything. But I would not be surprised if someone, like a professional, came to me saying, hey, you have depression. Because I definitely did at the time, had suicidal thoughts at that time and everything, and I just kind of like acted out in a way as kind of like it showed a lot of symptoms as depression, I guess you would say. and all that, and it was just not so well. So the year that I finally moved in with my mom, what happened was I had to go to, so I always go see my mom over the summertime. But that year I had to go to summer school because I did not pass for my classes, so I was required to go to summer school. So I went near the end of summer, and I was going to miss some days of school, just like 2 or 3 days of school, something like that. Nothing too extreme, and it was nothing was going to be like that point anyways, because it was like the first day of school or whatever, so it wasn't like anything important. So I was just originally supposed to go visit my mother, and it was the year that we also went to go see Croatia. Before we went, no, I think we were at Croatia, I told my mom that I did not want to go back. And she didn't really believe me, I think, because we were on vacation or whatever. She's like, oh, we'll just talk about it when we get back to Belgium. I'm like, okay. And then when we got back to the Belgium, I talked to my mom again. I told her, I did not want to come back. And I gave her all the reasons, and I basically had this very similar reasons of my mom on why she left. Left my dad in the first place and all that. So it just came a big whole thing with my father and everything. It was like 3 days of arguing and everything. Him calling my brother repeating what my dad said. It was kind of like hard, not very convincing of me wanting to come back and everything. So like it was a big argument with my father. Me telling him that I'm not going on a plane. If I do have to come back, as soon as I turn 18, I'm leaving. And at that time, I was 17 and a half years old. So I basically told him that in a few months, when I turn 18, I'm moving back. And he can't really do anything about it. It was just a whole big chaos for the next 3 days when that happened. And my father kind of just came to terms saying, okay, fine, don't come back, just stay with your mother. And a couple of his friends that I really, really appreciated, and his lawyer too, because my dad got his lawyer involved, I guess. But they kind of talked a sense to him, saying that I needed to be with my mother and everything. So I ended up staying in Belgium. Never just kind of basically more of like, oh, I'm here, might as well just stay here to live here, and that kind of situation. Just never came back. I think it was like a lot of shock to most of my friends, like my close friends, Cassie and Hannah. Not a big shock, I would think, because I think they kind of expected me wanting to stay there, and I think they just knew it would be better for me. But more so because it was just out of the blue. I just kind of sent them a message and be like, hey, I'm not coming back, I'm here for good, kind of situation. And I think that was kind of more of a shock because I never talked about it, really saying, hey, this is going to be the last time you're going to see me, this is the year that I'm staying with my mother and everything. So it was that. And then I kind of like changed everything as a person. And as today, looking back, if I did not make that decision at the time that I did come back at that year, I think I would either be dead or someone else or whatever, just because how my mental state was at the time and everything. But anywho, that's kind of how and what, in a way, so I kind of like stayed with my mother only because just to improve my mental state, just a little better, to kind of like push myself to get out of the city that I was living in, because the area that I live in, the grade that I was in with everybody, like everybody in my grade and everything, were not that great of the people. I was definitely that outcast only because of my speech disability I have. So I definitely got made fun of very, 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 very often for my speech disability. Of course, the type of clothes I had, because my family did not want me to dress as a quote-unquote normal teenager. So I always dress up like a grandmother, basically every single day. So like I just had a hard time fitting in and everything, and I think this me making the decision just like that helped me anyway to grow as a person, to not be afraid and everything, because I was always very open-minded, not afraid to say what was on my mind. But making the decision to stay helped me to be a little more encouraged, where even if they're family, I can say, hey, this is what you're doing, what you're saying is not correct or anything. And I'm no longer too afraid to like stand down my opinion and everything. So I've been living in Belgium for 8 years now, which is so ironic. Good time goes by so quickly, which is, I can't believe it's been 8 years. But anywho, now the traveling and everything, of course Croatia was just a little vacation with my mom and everything. But how I went to the other countries, as I shared on this channel, like going to Italy, going to Slovakia Republic, Poland, Italy, going to France, all of that. So a lot of them were just vacation from school. Besides Italy was a birthday present because I always wanted to go to Rome. I went to Poland and stuff like that, just to go see Auschwitz, which is amazing. Not amazing in like a good way, but like it's nice to see in once in your lifetime, like the real Auschwitz. And then I went to France for vacation and for work. So I went to Alsace, and that was for school, to kind of learn about the wine and all that. Then Paris, to go see one of my friends that I made from when I worked during my winter season and all that. And then Corsica and all that, like all the times were just for work, which is pretty amazing. And my first job in France was only because the hotel that I was working, the director at the time is friends with my mother, and that's just how I got the job. And I'm so happy to announce that I am going back, so I'm so happy. So yeah, there's nothing really too hard to explain. I was just lucky enough that I had a parent that was living overseas in Europe, that I was able to go over and just experience all the countries to experience and everything. I just had the privilege to have that, which is really nice. And I do not need a working visa to work in France or anywhere, only because I have the dual citizenship, and I just need to bring my identity card with me, which is like one of the great advantage if like someone who doesn't have the dual citizenship and they're from another country and they're required to bring a work visa with them and everything. So I definitely have a lot of advantage and everything that I'm very grateful. So that's how I ended up in Europe. I did not mean for this video to get someone be dark and everything, just how it started and everything, but that's how I ended up going to Belgium, only because my mental state wasn't that best and everything. But yes, but leave any comment or to tell me if you want to hear more story times about my life or just in general. Leave a comment down below because it will help me out. If you enjoyed this video, give this video a thumbs up because it will help out my channel a lot. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel because to see more of October videos. And I'll see you in my next video, in my tomorrow's video. Okay, bye. Okay, bye, y'all.